Hi, my name is Ilma, and welcome to my channel. I have been posting Christian blogs, going 13 years next month, every day. And today I'd like to share John 4, verses 46 to 54. Before I begin, I'd just like to thank for those people who prayed for me during this one whole week of very, very excruciating flu. I don't know if it's just a flu or I have the bronchitis or pneumonia. I would have gone to the doctor today or yesterday, but it's been minus 20 weather and I wouldn't want to expose myself to so much more cold. So I'm gonna wait when it's a little warmer. Today, this is the word of God. So he came again to Cana in Galilee, where he had made a water wine. And at Capernaum, there was an official whose son was ill. When this man heard that Jesus had come from Judea to Galilee, he went to him and asked him to come down and heal his son, for he was at the point of death. So Jesus said to him, "Unless you see signs and wonders, you will not believe." The official said to him, "Sir, come down before my child dies." Jesus said to him, "Go, your son will live." The man believed the word that Jesus spoke to him and went on his way. As he was going down, his servants met him and told him that his son was recovering. So he asked them the hour when he began to get better, and they said to him, "Yesterday, at the 7th hour, the fever left him." The father knew that was the hour when Jesus said to him, "Your son will live." And he himself believed, and all his household. This was now the second sign that Jesus did when he had come from Judea to Galilee. John 4, 46 to 54. Here's my poem. Jesus heals an official's son. As Jesus came down to Cana, where he had his first sign, an official was desperate for healing for his son who was ill. That man knew and believed that Jesus is the only one who can heal him. So in faith, he asked Jesus to heal him, and at that time, Jesus did another sign. He healed the official's son from illness that 7th hour. Jesus said he would. Here's my commentary. Have you ever wondered what is the criteria for Jesus to give a sign to the people? Why would he heal this official's son and not other sick persons? I think that there are requirements for Jesus to show up and let himself be glorified. This man is an official and yet had the humility to seek Jesus' help. Faith is another reason why Jesus complied. Mark 11:22 to 24 explains this very clearly by Jesus to his disciples. Then Jesus said to the disciples, "Have faith in God. I tell you the truth, you can say to this mountain, 'May you be lifted up and thrown into the sea,' and it will happen. But you must really believe it will happen and have no doubt in your heart. I tell you, you can pray for anything, and if you believe that you have received it, it will be yours." Reflection. Share an experience where Jesus brought a sign in your life. When I was back in the Philippines, because I came here 20 years ago, and back in the Philippines I went through a lot of trauma and been involved with very toxic relationships, because that's probably the only thing I knew as I grew up in toxic family setting. And then I got involved with my son's father, who is now deceased, uh, 24 years now. But when I was finally able to pull away from that toxic relationship, I was so angry and so depressed. And suddenly I wanted to ask God for a relief, how I could start another life again, because I lived with that man for 7 years. So finally, sorry, excuse me, as I was pregnant to my son, I was in my 20s, late 20s. God was very faithful. He provided, because the father didn't give any support or anything. So God gave me a job as a teacher, where I stayed 15 years, which was the longest job I've ever held in my life. Where there, that was the environment that my son grew up. He grew up in a very educational environment, very loving surroundings. So I still had that anger. So again, my son began to want to play music. And so I was happy to do that, because I played the guitar also that time. So and then I've always been mesmerized with paintings, how they're done since I was 3 years old. So so my son would be 7 years old by that time. I asked the Lord, like, can you give me something that I could be able to express this rage that I have inside? And so I began mixing colors, because I was also back in the theater before I became a teacher. So I was a stage manager for 25 years before I became a teacher. So there's a little part of visual art in me. So I just mixed colors, and then suddenly something came up. And then I began so obsessed to just pour out on paper whatever it is that I see, and pretended that I know when I don't know anything. I don't even know how to draw a straight line or a circle or anything. So that was 1991. And after 6 years, because I would be painting every day, like 5 to 6 painting or drawing every day, even though I don't know anything. I would borrow books from the library in our school, and I would just follow the joy of painting. Before the days of YouTube, they have this big book of the joy of painting, and that's how I learned to paint. And then 6 years later, I was also teaching theater at that time to the high school elective. They asked me to teach visual arts, because they saw how interested I was in it. So that began my career as a painter. So in a way, God heard my voice, my plea for healing from the anger. So then by the 6th year, a priest wanted to buy 10 paintings from me. And then after that, my friends who would come to the house would buy paintings from me. Then a couple of years later, I had my first exhibit, and without any name, no training in art, I was able to sell almost 80% of what I put in my first exhibit. So that's a sign, because I believe that God was going to help me heal from that rage, from that anger, from the abuse that I went through in that man's life. So, what is your experience? Share it with me in the comments below. That will be interesting to know how God has been working in your life. Thanks for watching. I hope you check my website at ILMA'S.com for artworks, photographs, and a copy of this blog. Please subscribe to my channel on YouTube so I could make more videos, give you the Word of God. And if you haven't already, check over 3,000 videos I've done over the years I've been doing this daily. Just type on YouTube or Google search ILMA'S Poem Devotional. Have a wonderful day.